Austrian MPs backed the expansion on Friday, with only parliaments of Malta, Netherlands and Slovakia left to cast their votes. In June, the European Council proposed expanding the size of the EFSF rescue fund from €240 billion to €440 billion and giving it new powers such as allowing it to buy government bonds. Philippine immigrant maid wins landmark Hong Kong case. Hong Kong's High Court has ruled that a domestic helper from Philippines should be allowed to apply for permanent residency in the city. The case was brought by Evangeline Benao Vallejo, who has lived in Hong Kong since 1986. The ruling follows a landmark judicial review and could lead to more than 1 lakh other foreign maids winning rights to residency. The government has said that it will appeal against the ruling. The case has sparked widespread debate on equal treatment for foreign maids. Mark Daly, the lawyer acting on behalf of Ms. Vallejo, said she was very pleased by the ruling. When we told her, she said, "Thank God," he said, adding that it was a normal working day for her. "It's a good day for the rule of law," he added. Hong Kong's Secretary for Security, Anwar, said that the government would not process or approve right-of-abort applications for domestic workers while it appealed against the ruling. The government respects, but it's disappointed with the ruling, he said. Some critics have said granting residency to domestic helpers would strain the provision of healthcare, education, and public housing. While other foreign nationals can obtain residency after working in Hong Kong for 7 years, immigration rules exclude domestic helpers from seeking permanent residency. Human rights lawyers and many domestic helpers argue that this is discriminatory. Permanent residency means that a person can remain in Hong Kong indefinitely, vote, and stand in elections. But some politicians and commentators warned that allowing foreign domestic helpers to have permanent residency would allow them to bring their children and other relatives to the city who would require education. Vladimir Putin is more popular than me, says Medvedev. Russian President Dmitry Medvedev says he has decided not to run for a second term because Vladimir Putin is more popular and more authoritative. It did not mean the next day's election result was predetermined, he said in first interview since Prime Minister Putin revealed their plan to swap jobs. Mr. Putin's bid to return to the top post he held between 2000 and 2008 has anchored the country's weak opposition. But Mr. Medvedev told Russian TV news faces would renew the government. It will be pivotal renewal of the government, a government consisting of new people. This is fundamentally important, he said. Mr. Medvedev had previously criticized stagnation in Russian political arena, which is heavily dominated by the pro-Kremlin United Russia Party, saying it's damaging to both ruling and opposition forces. But United Russia has approved Mr. Putin's proposal that Mr. Medvedev, headed by the party's list December's parliamentary elections, and become Prime Minister after a presidential poll. Telangana, India, new state protest enters 18th day. A strike in favor of a new state in the Telangana region of southern India's Andhra Pradesh state has entered its 18th day. Some 8 lakh protesting government employees have stopped work, leading to a shutdown of offices, schools and colleges. Public transport is off the roads and widespread power outages are being reported from the region. Andhra Pradesh saw violent protests for the and against the proposal last year. With a population of 40 million, the proposed Telangana state comprises 10 of Andhra Pradesh's 23 districts, including the state capital and India's 6th most populous city, Hyderabad. Normal life in Hyderabad has come to a standstill on Friday after a fresh strike call by pro-Telangana activists, the reporters say. For the last 18 days, 8 lakh government employees, mostly teachers, public transport workers and coal mine workers, have been on strike demanding a new state of Telangana. As a result, schools, colleges and government offices in the region are shut. A strike by the workers of Singarini Collieries company has led to a power cut. Electricity is mainly coal-fed in the region. Last week, protesters blocked trains in the region and a supporter of the new state threatened to commit suicide by jumping off the top of a hoarding in Hyderabad. Kashmir uproar over Afzal Guru clemency plea. Assembly members in Indian-administered Kashmir are angry that most debate clemency for local man on death row in India have been prevented. A resolution had been tabled on the case of Afzal Guru, who was convicted over a 2001 India Parliament attack. Sheikh Rashid, the independent who brought the resolution, said the state's leadership had done great damage to the Kashmir cause. Guru, who says he is innocent, faces death by hanging. We'll move on to the business world. Banks to make customers pay fee for using debit cards. Bank of America, the nation's biggest bank, said on Thursday that it planned to start charging customers $5 monthly fee when they use their debit cards for purchases. It was just one of the several new charges expected to hit consumers as new regulations crimp banks' profits. Wells Fargo and Chase are testing $3 monthly debit card fees. Regions Financial-based Birmingham, Alabama plans to start charging $4 fee next month, while SunTrust, another regional powerhouse, is charging $5 fee. The round of new charges stems from a rule which takes effect on Saturday that limits the fees that banks can levy on merchants every time a consumer uses a debit card to make purchases. The rule, known as Durbin Amendment after its sponsor Senator Richard J. Durbin, is a crucial part of Dodd-Frank financial overhaul law. Welcome to the world of science. Flying carpet of conductive plastic takes flight. A miniature magic carpet made of plastic has taken flight in a laboratory at Princeton University. The 10-centimeter, 4-inch sheet of a smart transparency is driven by ripple power, waves of electric current driving thin pockets of air from front to rear underneath. The prototype, described in applied physics letters, moves at speeds of about centimeter per second. Improvements to the design could raise that to as much as a meter per second. The device creator, graduate student Noah Jeffreys, says he was inspired by a mathematical paper he read shortly after starting his PhD studies at Princeton. He abandoned what would have been a fashionable project, printing electronic circuits with nanolinks, for one that seemed to have more in common with 1001 Nights than 21st century engineering. Professor James Stern, who leads Jeffrey's research group, conceded that at times the project seemed foolhardy. And in sport, Red Sox, no decision yet on Francona's future. Red Sox management met with manager Terry Francona on Friday to discuss his future, but general manager Theo Epstein had said no decision would be made or announced on Friday. Amid widespread reports on Friday that Francona's departure was imminent, the Red Sox refuted that but did not clear much up with their public statement. John Henry, Tom Warner, Larry Lucchino, and Charrington. And I met with Terry Francona this morning at Fenway Park to exchange thoughts and information on 2011 season and discuss areas for improvement going forward, Epstein said in a statement. We all plan on taking some time to process the thoughts expressed in the meeting. There are no immediate plans for an announcement. And before we close today's bulletin of news analysis, let's have a recap of the main points. Anwar al-Awlaki, Obama hails al-Qaeda death in Yemen. Deadly bomb hits funeral near Iraqi city of Hilla. Greek Prime Minister presses European Union leaders for new bailout tranche. Philippine immigrant maid wins landmark Hong Kong case. Vladimir Putin is more popular than me, says Medvedev. Telangana, India, new state protest enters new dimensions. And there we end today's bulletin of news analysis. Never forget to be with us in the coming weeks too. Thank you.